Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. My name is Moose, and we are here with another Aegis Guardians League replay from last Friday. This one is going to be game one of the week two series between Imperial Gaming and the Grin Wannabes. Should be a really fun matchup for sure. If you guys are enjoying the content, please feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and of course, follow me on Twitter. You'll see it below on the bottom left so you can find out more about when and where I am doing more casting work. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into it. We've got ourselves a pretty fun game for sure. Grin Wannabes falling short in week one, trying to be able to come back and make it a 1-1 series so far. Going up against Imperial Gaming, who had a really good showing against the Spartan Shields last week and are looking to be able to get 2-0 so far in their series. And we'll have to see what they're going to be able to do with this. They've got the Corki in the mid lane, played by Cybele. Noble Bark is going to be playing as the Zinjao. Electrify House is going to be playing as the Gnosis, and Paradigm Shift and Rin as the Xayah and the Lulu. So always paying attention to what Cybele and this Corki are going to be able to bring to the table. You know, playing with that first strike as well, so does have the power of the initial burst damage that he's able to come through. Not playing for, I think, a poke comp, but more playing to just get that really massive damage in is what that brings to mind when I see that the first strike is getting used. Meanwhile, over on the side of the Grin Wannabes, He/She People 123 as the Shen, wife, I think that's wife, yeah, wife playing as the Nunu. Baja Blast my ass. I love it. Shout out to the Mountain Dew Baja Blast, playing as the Zed, Sun BBF playing as the Jinx, and then Humanist, or O minus, there we go, O minus, pardon me, playing as the Janna in the bot lane. So, a lot of early potential from Baja Blast. He has the opportunity to just carry this game into oblivion and make it impossible for this Xayah or this Corki to really have a fun game. If he's able to land good death marks, really have a strong early game, should be putting in a ton of work if he does get ahead, and it's going to be based off of wife to be able to make that happen on the Nunu and try to, pressure a early game Corki that wouldn't necessarily have the same power as, say, a 20-minute Corki does, so that the Zed is able to get ahead. And he's building for it. He's got the long sword already. He's not building for like a D shield or a D blade or anything like that. He's going straight into the long sword. He's trying to go for that early damage, and he's going to try to just make sure that Cybele does not have a good time in this early game. Nice electrocute, nice trade, and Paradigm Shift's going to use Flash as well as Rin. The snowball does not land, and so the gank, while successful, does not result in any kills just yet. Wife will have to back off. That was a very early gank from this Nunu. Red, blue, Gromp into the gank bot side. Noble Bark is there and is going to try to look for this Nunu. He is full HP, this Zinjao is. And he's going to find him. When because lightning lands, Audacious Charge should be available. And that is first blood. Easy money for the Zinjao. Nicely done. Great poke already out of that gank. Paradigm Shift and Rin. And unfortunately for the Grin Wannabes, they lose out on the first blood gold, the first blood ability there, and giving it over to one of those early game junglers like the Zinjao is going to be really, really nice. Ooh, and on top of that, he's going to drop a ward to see where wife is going to be at. I thought he was going to go for the wolves there, but maybe was worried that wife would be coming back and picks up maybe the kill in the really deep roam, invade, I should say, into the bot side jungle of Grin Wannabes. But Noble Bark is now looking towards the mid lane. They will know that the Zinjao did not go to the top side to pick up the Scuttle Crab, and so now he's been spending a pretty extended period of time here in this mid lane trying to be able to soak up, or not soak up, but is soaking up experience from the Corki right now, but not necessarily going to make too much of an impact because he will have to back off inevitably and goes and picks up his Raptors instead. Nice double buffs as well, so he's actually even at the moment with the Nunu that had to go back first because he went to the fountain, and will have a much better back than the Nunu as well. 1,300 gold compared to 1,800. He's going to continue to clear out the camps as well. Probably going to see that the Scuttle Crab was taken. And so when he comes back, he's going to be able to pick up that Iron Spike Whip and some control wards. So that's what the power is of that early back. Going to get seen by the Scuttle Crab vision, and He-She people recognize that the issue is going to be there. Going to dash away, going to run away. Wither is going to land. And now the Shen may be in trouble, but Wife is in the area, so he will be able to protect the Shen from going down. And it's actually going to be Wife going in here and going to be so much damage. Noble Bark is going to pick up the kill. He-She people, scared of the power, is going to flash away. And that's going to be another big kill here for the Xin Zhao. Early game power in the jungle's hands is going to really put the Grin Wannabe squad in a bad situation. He-She people again gonna have to back off. A nice win becomes lightning from Noble Bark, and he's gonna have a really, really, really good buy when he goes back. Almost 2,300 gold, and he could pick up his Gromp and Wolves again if he wanted to. So really behind now. Wife is, this Nunu is not having a good game, and that's gonna really, I think, put an impact into how the rest of the early game is going to be playing out. If this Nunu cannot find kills, Bloodhound Blast My Ass is going to try to go for the death mark, and does go for it. The root is going to land, but he can't get the kill. Cybele takes another kill onto Wife. Oh, man. Oh, man. Yeah, no, Wife is not having a fun game. Backing once again, 0-3-0, could pick up pretty much nothing out of that last buy. It picks up, I actually don't think he picked up anything there. So, has boots, has cloth armor, and now with Xin Zhao going back, he's going to have a really nice buy and should have control of the Rift for a considerable amount of time. 2 long swords, an Iron Spike Whip, and a control ward. He's definitely feeling it. Baja Blast My Ass using his flash and the death mark for that gank there in the bot lane. So really, unfortunately, not getting anything out of it is going to put him behind the Corki as well, who was able to pick up the Caulfield's Warhammer. And yeah, at this point, like, Wife is just so far behind. Like, he can't contest at the Dragon. He probably can't contest at the Rift Herald. And Noble Bark is going to be able to get these ganks in and really have an impact with the early extra damage that he's able to bring to the table. And he's looking to go once again for the bot lane. Sun BBF and O Minus are now in trouble. The slow is going to land. Nice slow there from Rin, and Humus. Their Minus is going to try to use everything to survive. The exhaust is going to get used. The shield is coming up. The flash gets used, but it won't keep the Janna alive. Noble Bark is level 5. Does not have the Crescent Guard. Will back off. So a really early game power there from Imperial Gaming. The early game is going pretty well. Killing spree now for Noble Bark, and the Xin Zhao will be able to pick up his Krugs and his bot side camps. So we'll continue to outpace and outscale this Nunu. I mean, eventually, if like we get to 6 items, the Nunu is going to be more powerful than the Xin. But at this point, like, it is Xin's Rift. 3-0 has some pretty powerful items at the 8.5 minute mark. 2 long swords, Iron Spike Whip. That's an extra, a pretty massive amount of damage. 60 or 50 extra damage coming from his buys, which is not really doing much of anything for the Nunu. The wife only has, extra 15 armor from that cloth armor, so isn't necessarily having a good time, and will have to pretty much run away from wherever Xin Zhao is. I don't think that he can make a fight, even if it's like a 2v1 play. Like, it's not going to work out now that Crescent Guard is online. And so, yeah, feeling really, really good about this. And going to still hover around the bot side, trying to make sure that Paradigm Shift and Rin have just even more protection. And with the control war getting taken care of, he's going to decide to go for the Ocean Drake at the 9.5 minute mark. Pretty slow Drake. I mean, given how much power Noble Bark has in the early game, like, I would have expected maybe go for the Dragon, a little bit sooner, so that he's able to pick up the Dragon and then immediately go over to the Rift Herald at the 8 minute mark, and then you have a really good early game and you snowball it at that point. But instead, like, you do kind of, I think, drop the ball a little bit with your decision making. Uh, Regardless of that, like, you're still having a phenomenal early game. 10 minutes into the game, able to pick up the dragon, and is going to be able to catch out Wife at this Rift Herald. Maybe didn't see the Scryer's Bloom. This could not work out for him, and he's gonna go for a gank instead of going for the Rift Herald. So he's gonna try to get a kill onto He/She people. 1, 2, 3 is in trouble. He knows that Wife is in the area. Absolute Zero is ready, but he is just getting so destroyed. The early damage from Noble Bark is continuing to be a problem, and that's going to be the first kill for Electrify House, as he's able to get the Shen down, and is going to be looking to potentially just continue to push that forward, get the Gnosis stacking up sooner rather than later. Alrighty, so looking at the tiers that have now been picked up by Paradigm Shift and Cybele, Manamune picked up at the 11-minute mark before the Corki, and Corki, I believe, will have package available if he wants to use that for a play bot side. Or top side. You know, he has teleport as well, so he could use it wherever he wants to, but maybe just waiting for the 14-minute mark or waiting for a dragon play before he picks that one up. Has the Manamune stacked of about halfway, so he's probably, you know, still feeling pretty happy about the initial kill that he was able to get onto Wife. That's going to allow him to pick up that Manamune a little bit earlier. And Gore Drinker is now online for Noble Bark and the Xin Zhao, who's been a part of 4 out of the 5 early game kills that Imperial Gaming have had. So all in all, I mean, this is a perfect game to start things off here from Imperial Gaming, and Grin Wannabes, who needed to get the Zed or needed to get the Jinx off to a good start, haven't yet been able to get them online just yet, and are going to continue to have problems as we move into the later stages of the early game. All right, but we do have maybe a successful gank here. Rin is going to be in trouble. Is going to be the target. Going to flash away from the snowball, but will use the Wild Growth to stop the Absolute Zero. Featherstorm's going to get used, and now Noble Bark is in the area. This is not a 3v3 that they can win. He/She People's going to move in with the Stand United, but it's not going to stop the death on to Wife. Minus is next. It's a double kill for the Xin Zhao, and that is going to be, unfortunately, 0 kills for Grin Wannabes, despite the use of the Stand United. And Electrify House is just going to pop his ultimate and just continue to rack damage in on top lane. We'll pick up yet another turret plate. He/She People will have to teleport in to stop the aggression even more, but that doesn't stop the power that is being brought here in the bot lane. Paradigm Shift and Rin are going to be able to land yet another turret plate, and might actually be able to take care of this turret here before the 14-minute mark expires. We'll have to see if they actually get that last turret plate in. But they have been having a phenomenal game still, and it's yet to stop. Rin is in trouble now. Could be the target. Baja Blast My Ass is going to use the Death Mark to take down Rin, and Rin will inevitably fall. First kill of the game over against the Imperial Gaming squad. Noble Bark is the next target, but he cannot die. He's going to pick up the kill onto Baja Blast, and oh, Minus, that is so sad, is going to pick up the shutdown on to Noble Bark and the Xin Zhao. That was an 800 gold bounty for the Xin Zhao. You wanted to either give that over to Wife or Sun BBF, but unfortunately, you get it onto the support. Like, that is not what you want to see. That is so heartbreaking to me. I mean, what is 800 gold going to be there for the Janna? Like, maybe he's able to pick up the Moonstone Renewer a little bit quicker. I mean, yes, that is a power spike for the support, but you would have loved to have gotten that gold either onto the Nunu or onto the Jinx, and you don't get it. So, little bit of a sad situation there. And on top of that, you also don't get the turret plate gold because you dropped that Rift Herald just a little bit too late. And in the meantime, Baja Blast My Ass dying allows for Cybele to pick up the mid lane tower as well. So we're still feeling pretty good for Imperial Gaming. Continues to have a lot of power and pressure here as we move into the mid game. Dragon spawning in 3 seconds. Noble Bark is in the area along with Paradigm Shift and Rin. And since we haven't seen the reset yet from Grin Wannabes, they are not feeling comfortable to go in for this play, and they have decided to back off. The dragon has been initiated, And so that'll be the second dragon of the game going over to Imperial Gaming. Let's see what the soul is. Soul's going to be Mountain Soul, so that extra resistances, the extra shielding if Imperial Gaming is able to get to that soul point. But at the moment, you know, there's 6,000 gold into the lead or 5,000 gold into the lead at the 15-minute mark. Like, they are definitely scaling into a point where they are going to be insurmountable. It's going to be package getting dropped. Cyble's going to get hit by the death mark, though. Bob Blast My Ass is going to walk away. But Wife is just continuing to poke in the damage and is able to get the kill onto Wife. Baja Blast My Ass is the next target, and it's an easy double kill for Cybele and this Corki, already putting in the power against the Zed and the Nunu. Double kill comes through. Great wild growth from Rin will result in an easy 600 gold there for the side of Imperial Gaming, and they're also going to be able to pick up the tower in the bot lane as well. So all in all, really solid performance from Imperial Gaming so far. And they're going to be looking to continue to keep up the momentum as we move to the 16-minute mark. So at the moment, I mean, Imperial Gaming, they are the benefactors of a 7,000 gold lead. You've got the Muramana online for Paradigm Shift. The Manamune is almost completely ticked in for Cybele. He also is able to pick up his second item, the Luden's Echo. So, I mean, he's going to be able to drop massive damage with First Strike and the big ones from his ultimate and the extra magic pen that it provides. So he has so much damage already into the game. He doesn't even need the package. It's just like an extra little bit of power there. Electrify House is going to get dove upon. That's going to be a 3v1 situation for the time being. Absolute Zero is going to get used, but it's nice flash from the Gnosis to get away from the damage. The rocket misses from Sun BBF, and Wife is going to be the target. Cybele's going to go on a rampage, picking up the kill onto the Nunu. She people is going to have to run away, flashing away from the rest of the Imperial Gaming squad. And they're going to push forward as well, knowing that she people is fairly low. Does still have Stand United and will not be able to stop the back, but will be able to get a ton of damage in onto this tower. Already just massive damage coming through from Cybele. You saw that rocket just poke down some BB up by a third of its HP. And so with that, Inner Tower is going to go down, and the rest of Imperial Gaming will now move towards the Rift Herald, which they will pick up. Baja Blast is in the bot lane, so he will be able to get some tower damage onto the turret, but it's going to take a long time for him to take care of it, and Electrify House is already there. He will be able to get substantial damage onto it, though, with the minions coming through. But will he be able to complete it? The answer is no. So, yeah, I mean, at least being able to get some tower damage, maybe try to pick up an objective bounty is going to be on the horizon for Grin Wannabes, but they've got to deal now with the Rift Herald getting taken by Noble Bark. They got to deal with a 0-0-6 Paradigm Shift and a 4-0-0 Corki. Oh my god. Oh my word, that is so much damage from this Corki. Cybele blasting 2 rockets right into the face of Jinx and will be able to get him down to 300 health. And it's just continuing to add that poke in. First Strike just continuing to put in work with that extra amplification of damage. Has picked up 350 gold at the 18-minute mark, so that's an extra's kills worth of gold just because of the rune. Wife getting chunked down again. The rune's gonna land, just gonna continue to add damage onto the members of Grin Wannabes. Tower is low, the poke is there, and the power of this Corki cannot be ignored. For less than 20 minutes into the game, it's already a 10,000 gold advantage, and it continues to grow even further. This is looking like it is going to be a pretty GG game. Grin Wannabes is kind of running for the hills right now. They haven't really been able to make any successful plays here in the mid game yet, and they haven't really hit any major, power spikes. They still have 2 members of their squad that haven't been able to pick up their mythic items. Wife and He-She people not yet at their Turbo Chem tanks or the Sunfire Aegises, and that's going to just continue to delay them, considering that you're looking at 1.5 items for both Electrify House and Noble Bark, looking at 2 items on the Corki compared to 1 item. for the Zed. You're looking at almost 2 items for the Xayah compared to just 1 item and boots for the Jinx. And you get a Shurelia's. From that 800 gold shutdown, you get a Shurelia's promo minus on the Janna. So, building towards trying to make those risky plays happen, maybe trying to be able to catch someone out of position and then just outmaneuver them, get that extra movement speed in to pick up the kill. But unfortunately, you haven't yet come into that position yet, and you've lost so much structure and control in this game so far. Another dragon going to go towards the side of Imperial Gaming, and they're all going to reset, just pick up even more items. The Eclipse is now online for Paradigm Shift, and the Tiamat is now picked up for Cybele. Like, this is really, really tough here for Grin Wannabes. But I mean, let's focus on other aspects of the game. Imperial Gaming has a 40 CS advantage here for Electrify House, stacking wise at the 20-minute mark at 489. Yeah, he's been pretty much alone on his own island for a majority of the game. He's been able to pick up massive stacking so far. He's 50 CS almost in the lead against he/she people. It's an even CS advantage right now for Wife and Noble Bark, but it's Noble Bark that has 6 kills. Meanwhile, Wife has 6 deaths. And unfortunately for Baja Blast My Ass, like, he does have the Dustblade of Drekthar. He does have the ability to, like, really push someone down. But are they going to be able to actually get anyone taken care of? Electrify House is now getting 5v1, going to flash away, trying to be able to survive this. He's going to be using everything to try to pick up the kills, or try to pick up anything, but he will eventually get shut down. Fury of the Sands used, but it is not quite enough health to survive a 5v1. The rest of Imperial Gaming will say, well, if you guys are all bot side, we will pick up the Baron, and we'll now be able to have that neutral objective for the next 3 minutes on 4 out of their 5 members. I think that is a pretty solid trade, considering that they were able to get that extra, 1,200 gold out of that. Yes, you do give 500 gold over to Baja Blast, but he's still behind by almost 3,000 gold moving into the 23-minute mark. 10,300 for Cybele at the moment compared to 73 for the Zed. Like the Corki's been CSing as well as picking up kills, so he's definitely still in a good position, and he has 1,000 gold slate. He's going to be able to pick up that Ravenous Hydra when he backs off. That's probably what he's waiting for at this point, before he goes back. Being able to pick up that Ravenous Hydra will be a big power spike for him, and at that point, he will be nigh unstoppable. Also, I believe we'll have the package online here in the next couple of moments, so we'll want to be looking for that. And they're just looking for kills. Sun PBF is going to have to go away from the red buff, and so that's going to be another escape from the Jinx, but not quite enough to be able to pick up the red buff. And now we get to see the remainder of this game, potentially the final siege of Imperial Gaming, as Baja Blast My Ass gets hit by the audacious charge. He/she people is the next target. It's a double kill for Noble Bark. Nice audacious charges coming in from the Xin Zhao. He'll be able to pick up that double kill. And with your mid laner and top laner down in a 5v3, Electrify House finally takes to the rest of the team. Gonna drop Fury of the Sands. Going to be able to just chunk down these towers. And at 24 minutes into the game, a double kill for Paradigm Shift will finally put that KDA on the board. And it's a GG. Imperial Gaming win this game handedly, I might say, against the Grin Wannabes. Nicely done. Really no issues there to be able to take the win. Unfortunately, those early deaths from Wife were never been able to get mitigated. They got 1 Rift Herald out of that, but all the other neutral objectives went over to Imperial Gaming. Noble Bark having a pretty standout performance, picking up multiple kills early on, using those kills to his advantage, and that's the power of those early kills in the early game. That extra 300 gold, that extra 600 gold that Noble Bark was able to pick up was, like I said, an extra 50 damage on the Xin Zhao that comparatively to 15 armor from the Nunu just made him so powerful in these exchanges. So really, really nicely done from Imperial Gaming. That was game 1. If you guys want to hang out, you guys can see game 2 here in just a moment. The next video is going to be that. But as I try to get my words all figured out, like I said, Grin Wannabes up against Imperial Gaming. Game 2 will be up after this one. If you want to check that out, we'll see that one there. But in the meantime, have a great night, everyone. Take care. Stay safe. We'll see you guys later.